Hey everyone, welcome back. We're jumping right into our week 2 review on building real confidence. So last week we laid all the groundwork. Today, we're really going to dig into the powerful evidence-based strategies we've been putting into practice. The goal here is to completely transform how you think about confidence, to see it not as some vague feeling you hope for, but as a practical skill you can actually build day by day. The biggest breakthrough from our first week was really taking on this one central myth. It is such a convincing trap, right? It keeps so many of us completely stuck, just waiting around for a feeling of readiness that, let's be honest, might never show up. We're always told, oh, just be more confident. But what if that's putting the cart before the horse?
And this is exactly it. Modern psychology, even neuroscience, has completely flipped this old way of thinking on its head. The truth, and this is our core principle for the week, is that action is the cause of confidence, not the result. It's a game changer. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way into it. So here's our game plan for today's review. First, we're going to double down on that reversed equation. Then we'll get practical and talk about building your evidence locker to actually measure your growth. We're going to find the gold in our failures, understand that confidence is physical, and then wrap up by setting you up with your very first confidence challenge for the week ahead.
Okay, so when you take action, even when you're scared, something pretty incredible happens inside your brain. Your prefrontal cortex, that's the logical CEO part of your brain, it actually gets to step in and override the amygdala, which is your brain's little fear alarm. You are literally, step by step, teaching your brain that you are in control, not your fear. Now, what's so cool about this is how it creates this awesome upward spiral. You take one tiny action, and that builds just a little bit of skill, right? Well, that new competence triggers a little hit of dopamine in your brain, which physically starts to rewire it to make the next, slightly bigger action feel that much easier. It's this beautiful self-reinforcing loop. So, to really pour gasoline on that confidence loop and start measuring our growth from day one, we have to consciously build what psychologists call mastery experiences. A fantastic way to do this is to create what we're calling an evidence locker, basically a collection of undeniable proof of what you can do. And look, this isn't about ego. It's about giving your brain cold, hard data to fight back against that nagging voice of self-doubt. So what actually goes in this locker? Well, everything. Your degrees, sure. Positive performance reviews. Screenshot those nice emails and messages you get. You can even keep a simple ta-da list where you write down tasks after you do them. This collection becomes your objective record of success that your inner critic just can't argue with. Of course, taking action means that, yeah, sometimes you're going to fail. It's inevitable. But the key to building resilient confidence isn't about avoiding failure. It's about totally changing your relationship with it. We have to learn to see setbacks as just valuable data, not some final verdict on who we are. A really simple but surprisingly powerful way to start is with this acronym, FAIL. Think of it as your first attempt in learning. Just that simple reframe takes all the shame and finality out of the word. Some people get creative with it, like falling also includes laughter. The whole point is to reclaim the word and see it as just another part of the process. This quote just perfectly captures this beautiful philosophy we explored. It comes from kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. See, instead of hiding the cracks, kintsugi actually highlights them, showing that the piece is more valuable and beautiful for having been broken. And in the exact same way, our challenges, our failures, our repairs, they can forge an even stronger character in us. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Confidence isn't just a thought pattern, it's a physiological state. It is rooted deep in your nervous system's perception of safety. And if your body is stuck in a state of high alert, honestly, no amount of positive thinking is going to break through. So here's a super simplified look at something called polyvagal theory. Basically, when we feel safe, we're in a ventral vagal state. We feel calm, creative, connected. But when stressors trigger a threat response, we jump into a sympathetic state. That's fight or flight. And in this state, our logical brain pretty much goes offline, which is exactly why just trying to think your way into confidence can fail. We have to regulate the body first. And here's how we can actually do it. These are simple body-based exercises. Making a low-pitched VOO sound literally vibrates your vagus nerve and sends a calming signal. Shaking your arms and legs helps discharge all that nervous energy. And slow, deep belly breaths, diaphragmatic breathing, tells your brainstem that you're safe. These are the tools that create the biological foundation for confidence to come back online. All right, now it's time to put all this amazing theory into practice. We're going to look at a structured, step-by-step method for taking those small, manageable actions that gradually expand your comfort zone. And this is going to be our main tool as we head into week 3. This is the Competence Challenge Ladder. You take a big fear, let's say public speaking, and you break it down into tiny, ranked steps. You don't just jump to the top, nope. You start at step 1, something that feels like a 2 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. And you only move up when you feel that anxiety naturally start to drop. This is how you gradually teach your nervous system that you're safe at each and every level. So, what's your mission for this week heading into week 3? It's simple. Just pick one small confidence challenge and do it. That's it. Remember, confidence is a result of taking action. It's not a requirement to get started. And if you're not sure where to start, here's a little social confidence starter pack. These are perfect step 1 challenges for your ladder. For example, make eye contact and smile at a stranger for just a second longer than you normally would. Or say hi to that neighbor you usually just walk past. Or maybe try talking just a little bit louder in your next conversation. Just pick one. Do it today. Notice that you survive, and let that be the very first rung on your ladder.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. We've established that action is the key, right? It's what unlocks confidence. You now have the frameworks to measure your growth and the tools to set a clear goal for the week ahead. And as you decide which door to open, know that all of this is the foundation for what we're tackling in week 3, emotional leadership. But it all starts with this one first step. So the only question left is the one right there on the screen. Which door will you choose to open first?